Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we begin with the major and top highlights of tonight. Celebration of the 80th anniversary of the entry into force of the Charter of the United Nations. The International Court of Justice orders Israel to facilitate entry of humanitarian aid on the international scene for Gaza. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Abdelghader Hussein Umar, took part today at the Sheraton Hotel in the ceremony marking the 80th anniversary of the entry into force of the United Nations Charter. The event was attended by UN Resident Coordinator Mr. Jose Barahona, Ambassador Ghaly Idriss Umar, Director of Military Relations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and other officials. Held as part of United Nations Day, observed globally on 24th of October, the ceremony highlighted the importance of dialogue, solidarity, and collective action for peace and progress. The program opened with a documentary surveying 8 decades of the UN's work and major achievements since 1945, followed by a message from UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres marking the occasion. Attendees also watched a recorded address by His Excellency the President, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh of the Republic of Djibouti. The video segment concluded with an awards presentation honoring women and men, partners and UN staff who contribute daily to the organization's work in Djibouti. Following the screenings, a photographic exhibition titled Building Our Future Together showcased UN captured images telling Djiboutian stories of courage, resilience, generosity, and innovation. UN Resident Coordinator Jose Barahona underscored the United Nations' central role in promoting peace, development, and human rights, reaffirming the UN system's commitment to working alongside the government to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. For his part, Mr. Abdelghader Hussein Umar reaffirmed Djibouti's commitment to multilateralism and international cooperation. Let's listen to him.
C'est pour moi un honneur de prendre la parole aujourd'hui.
It's a great honor for me to speak here today on occasion of the celebration of the 80th anniversary of the entry into force of the Charter of the United Nations. I found a test that has shaped our modern world since 1945 around the universal values of peace, justice, and solidarity among peoples. Let me begin by conveying the fraternal greeting and congratulations of His Excellency Mr. Ismail Guelleh, President of the Republic of Djibouti, to the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, and to all the women and men who serve with dedication under the blue banner of the United Nations. This day is both of celebration and reflection. A celebration as we honor 80 years of collective effort to build a safer, more equitable, and more inclusive world. This is a reflection because we must also consider how we can further strengthen this multilateral cooperation in the face of the new and complex challenges of our time. Since gaining independence, Djibouti has resolutely embraced multilateralism and international cooperation. Our country deeply believes that the major issues of our time, whether climate change, humanitarian crisis, sustainable development, maritime security, or regional peace, can only be resolved through dialogue, consultation, and solidarity among nations. Under the enlightening leadership of the President of the Republic, Djibouti is working to translate the United Nations 2030 agenda into reality. But we also know that much remains to be accomplished and that we reaffirm today our commitment to working hand in hand with the United Nations Agency present in Djibouti to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Republic of Djibouti strongly condemns the Knesset's preliminary reading and adoption of 2 draft laws that seek to impose Israeli sovereignty over the occupied West Bank and over an unlawful settlement. Actions that flagrantly violate international law and UN resolutions and constitute an egregious assault with an inalienable historical rights of the Palestinian people. Djibouti warns of the gravity of this step, which represents a dangerous escalation in occupation and exponentiate a policy and directly undermines prospects for peace and a two-state solution. Djibouti calls on the international community, in particular the UN Security Council, to assume its legal and moral responsibilities and take urgent measures to halt these unlawful practices and compel Israel to respect its international obligations. The Republic reiterates its firm support for the rights of the Palestinian people, foremost among them the legitimate right to an independent state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Students of the Republic School, accompanied by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, and Health Minister Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdille, participated in the closing ceremony of the National Week of Sport and Health. The event, warmly received at the Djibouti High School, was attended by senior officials from both ministries. The ministers and guests were welcomed with traditional songs and dances before viewing a demonstration of a Japanese martial art known as Dakayato Ryo, performed by an expert instructor. Officials toured displays featuring medical equipment, prospective technologies, and pharmaceuticals, alongside numerous awareness materials addressing risk factors for communicable and non-communicable diseases. At the close of official activities, awards and valuable gifts were distributed to winners of the sporting competition held throughout this week. Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdille emphasized the initiative's importance and thanked his counterpart in the Ministry of National Education for establishing the National Educational Facility. He highlighted the need for sports in schools, saying our students need opportunities to relax after long days of study. Dr. Roble stressed the public health focus for October and November, represented by the Pink and Blue campaigns to raise early detection awareness for breast and prostate cancers, both of which are more easily prevented with detected early. For his part, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud praised the efforts across schools and took part in the week-long sport and health activities, underscoring the value of promoting physical activity as both prevention and treatment for chronic diseases and as a means to combat secondary behavior. He commended the Association for the Promotion of Physical Education and School Sports for organizing high-quality activities and for public projects such as the Scouts Initiative. The third ministerial conference of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, on labor, employment, and labor migration took place in Nairobi, Kenya from 22 October 2025 under the presidency of Mr. Omar Abdi Said, Minister in charge of Labor and Social Protection. Held under the theme Strengthening Migration Governments and Labor Mobility for Prosperity, the conference convened senior officials from Ministries of Labor and Interior across IGAD member states, social partners, and representatives of regional and international organizations. IGAD Executive Secretary Dr. Rene Gabillo was in attendance. Ministerial meetings on 22nd October followed 2 days of technical sessions in which member state experts, supported by international and regional organizations and social partners, reviewed progress on the regional labor migration program. The technical discussions pursued a set of policy and strategic recommendations focused on labor mobility, employment policy, and migration governance to inform ministerial deliberations and strengthen regional cooperation. Speaking as conference president, Mr. Omar Abdi Said praised member states' joint efforts and reaffirmed Djibouti's ongoing commitment to promoting decent work. Let's listen to him.
It is with great honor for me to speak on behalf of the government of the Republic of Djibouti at this important ministerial meeting organized by IGAD. We welcome this initiative which strengthens regional dialogue on critical issues related to labor migration, employment, and decent work in the region. Located at the crossroad of migration routes in the Horn of Africa, the Republic of Djibouti occupies a strategic position as a country of origin, transit, and destination. Every year, thousands of economic migrants from neighboring countries pass through our territory, while a growing number of foreign workers settle here, attracted by the opportunities offered by the rapid development of the port, logistic, and infrastructure sectors. Aware of the challenges and opportunities, this reality represents the Republic of Djibouti, which has adopted a proactive approach based on responsible and inclusive governance of labor migration in order to transform this dynamic into a lever for sustainable human and economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, Djibouti has undertaken a comprehensive reform of its labor law framework guaranteeing equal treatment between national and foreign workers with the regard of working condition. At the regional level, discussions are underway to facilitate professional and mobility between IGAD member and countries. At the institutional level, the creation of a Labor Migration Directorate within the Ministry of Labor marks a decisive step in accordance with the migrants' policies, manage partnership, and monitor international commitment. The protection of migrants' workers remains a priority for the Republic of Djibouti. Our country strives to guarantee all migrants without distinctions equitable access to fundamental labor rights, social protection, and essential service. In accordance with our international commitments, Djibouti actively participates in the IGAD regional program on labor migration and contribute to the work of Regional Migration Observatory with the aim of strengthening regional debate and database sharing the best practices and informing policy decision based on reliable data. Furthermore, Djibouti is a signatory to the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, whose objectives have been fully integrated into our national strategies on labor migration. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Djibouti reaffirms its full commitment to regulate, protective, and beneficial migration for all.
The Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Mumin Asawi, attended the official inauguration of Vision Gaming Lounge, an innovative space for video gaming enthusiasts and professionals organized in partnership with the leadership of the Djibouti Sports Association. The opening brought together association representatives, including the association president and Vision co-founder, the association vice president and head of the Djibouti Digital Sports Federation, and Vision's HR and projects director, alongside officials from the Ministry of Youth and Culture and the Director of Youth, Social Integration and Volunteering. Following the association's grand prize win into the 2024 Presidential Awards, the Djibouti Esports Association completed its ambitious project to establish a dedicated interactive venue for video game culture and entertainment. The facility is equipped with high-definition displays, virtual reality systems, escape room-style games, and an academy space designed to introduce and train youth for careers in digital gaming. Mr. Hiba Mumin Asawi lauded the association's commitment, creativity, and perseverance, reaffirming government support for initiatives that foster social and economic development and youth empowerment through cultural, creative industries, sport, and entrepreneurship, and encouraged young people to pursue sustainability and resilience. The ceremony concluded with an interactive discussion between the minister and the launch founders and a convivial reception marking the venue's official opening. Let's now hear some of the participants' reaction.
My name is Obah Mohammed. I am the head of project, and we wanted to sincerely thank Dr. Hiba Mu'min for coming to Vision Lounge. This space was created to bring people together and communities together through gaming, creativity, and building connections. This visit has inspired us to keep building opportunities and empowering youth.
A national workshop titled Dialogue on Green Energy Zone in Djibouti was held at the Sheraton Hotel as part of the Parliamentarians for Climate Finance Initiative, bringing together a broad range of key stakeholders organized in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. The workshop included public sector representatives, parliamentarians, private sector operators, and civil society members. Participants exchanged experiences, identified major challenges, and collaborated to develop practical, nationally appropriate solutions to promote the development of green energy zone in Djibouti. Discussions produced strategic recommendations, including the need to establish a coherent legislative and regulatory framework to better align investments, strengthen financing mechanisms, and accelerate the country's energy transition. This multilateral dialogue represents an important step towards implementing effective climate policies supported by suitable legislation and robust partnerships among sustainable development stakeholders. A high-level Djiboutian delegation led by Mr. Goulet Mohamed Jama, Director of Energy at the Ministry of Energy, participated in the second Accelerating Partnership for Renewable Energy in Africa Investment Forum held 22nd to 23rd October at the Freetown International Conference Center in Sierra Leone. The forum aims to attract investment to support the continent's energy transition and green industrialization. The forum convened ministers, investors, developers, and financial institutions from Africa and abroad. It follows an IRENA report noting Africa accounted for only 1.6% of the new renewable capacity in 2024, highlighting the urgent need for greater investment. The previous APRA session in Nairobi mobilized projects worth of $2.7 billion. The forum brings together African states and international partners to accelerate the green energy transition, with IRENA providing technical expertise and investment facilitation to support sustainable development and climate action. The Indian community in Djibouti, in collaboration with the Indian Embassy, organized a festive Diwali celebration. The Indian New Year festival, also known as the Festival of Lights, Diwali, a celebration of lights, triumph over darkness and good over evil, is one of the principal festivities in Indian culture and is widely observed around the world. The event in Djibouti drew a large number of distinguished guests, including the Indian ambassador and representatives of several diplomatic missions. The evening, warm and joyful in tone, reflected the community's spirit of unity and sharing and featured immersive artistic performances, including standout children's presentation and a set by the Jeep Fire brand that energized the audience. Dance and music underscored the community's cultural diversity and vibrancy. The evening closed with a raffle and prize distribution aimed warm applause. In his remarks, the Indian ambassador congratulated community leaders and organizers for their efforts in preserving Indian culture and traditions in Djibouti and praised the community's solidarity and vitality, which contributes to strengthening India-Djibouti ties. He recalled the Diwali story of King Rama's return after 14 years in exile, stressing that the festival's timeless message of light, peace, and unity remains profoundly relevant today.
Okay, let me go away. So he went away for 14 years. Then with all his submission, he came back again. So he conquered darkness with humility. That shows the significance of light. So light, he enlightened his kingdom once again. And it is like the significance, the essence of Diwali is like, good winning over evil. So with light, you throw away darkness.
Let's hear now the reactions of those who were present at the event.
First of all, I would like to wish everybody a very happy Diwali. We, the Indian community, has been celebrating Diwali since many decades in Djibouti. But this time, BSS, the Bharatiya Sanskriti Samagam, has been celebrating Diwali. This is the fourth consecutive year. We have been celebrating Diwali with our Djiboutian brothers and sisters. We would really like to thank our Djibouti brothers and sisters and the nationalities to keep us and give us the warmth and patience and you to come together. Another thing which I would like to state, Diwali is a festival which not only is a celebration of firecrackers and festivities, it is a celebration which brings joy, happiness, and it shares a bond between all. We take this movement, a huge movement, to thank our government of Djibouti. Without them, nothing of this would have been possible. Only because of you, we are here, and the way you are supporting us. A big thank you to all of you, and thank you to each and everybody who was present here.
A tragic traffic collision occurred in Uganda shortly after midnight on Wednesday when two buses and two cars collided on the highway to Gulu in the country's north, resulting in numerous fatalities and injuries. Police reported the crash followed a dangerous overtaking maneuver by two buses traveling in opposite directions, producing a severe head-on collision. Deadly road accidents are common across Uganda and East Africa due to narrow roads and excessive speed. A Red Cross spokesperson described the incident as one of the worst in recent years, saying victims were blooded with serious fractures and that the scene was extremely distressing. Africa is experiencing an unprecedented digital surge that could add roughly $300 billion to the continent's GDP by 2030. According to the African Development Bank, emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and e-commerce are lifting corporate productivity by an estimated 30 to 50% and strengthening the ability of SMEs to participate in regional markets. The International Court of Justice announced Wednesday that Israel must allow the UN Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian refugees to deliver humanitarian assistance to war-devastated Gaza.
International Court of Justice ruled on Wednesday that Israel must allow UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, to provide humanitarian aid to the war-torn Gaza Strip. Last year, the UN General Assembly referred the matter to the Ahud-based Gaza ceasefire agreement, which came into effect on October 10, which aimed also at the ending 2 years of war in Palestinian enclave.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns of strain on the global trading system. Speaking at the UN Conference on Trade and Development, Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that the world trade faces a critical period as tariff barriers rise and some countries adopt protectionist measures, with developing nations bearing the greatest cost. Guterres said that the rules-based trading system founded on fairness and equal opportunity is under threat from unilateral actions by major economies and warned that continued protection could slow global growth and widen the gap between developed and developing countries. Well, but these are blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us and make sure to tune in later for more as usual. Have a wonderful evening and take care. Thank you.